show me that there's new devices available in the system. I'm going to click on this, and I see that I have 7 decoders in the system ready for me to create walls or desks, and I also have 1 encoder. Okay, I'm going to continue, add these devices to the system, and you'll see that these things will be adopted and the decoders are ready to be used and configured. The first thing we're going to do is add some sources. We click on the Sources tab. You'll see that we already have configured some sources in the interest of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a encoded source. So I know that this encoder is attached to my laptop, to this docking station. So I'm going to call it docking station. I continue. Resolution's fine. There's audio. The interaction is enabled. I can finish, and you see that I have created my first source. Let me double check. If we do docking, then you'll see there it is. The other source type that we want to create is a web source. So we give it a name. We're just going to go to barco.com. There you go. We click finish, and we've created a web source. We can still filter on the web sources to show all the web sources that were already created. But as you can see, the barco.com is the top one that we already have. Next thing is a VDI source, an RDP source that we're going to create. So I'll call it RDP test. I copied the host name on my clipboard, so pasted it here. I go next. Let me quickly check the user. There you go. I filled in the user and now the password. And I can continue. This is all okay. I do finish. And here you see we added this desktop thing because we have a desktop created, an RDP source. So there it is. There's one more thing that I would like to show you, and that's the creation of a camera source. So on the camera, I'm going to call this camera B. It's the camera that's sitting here on this rail mount. It's called camera b.barcocontrol.com. It's an access camera. It's an M series, and I'm going to use multicast. There you go. Sources created. Next up is the walls. So we go to the Walls tab. You see where we already have some walls created, but we still have 7 devices to be used to create a wall. We create a new wall. We call it the RPC 4x3 wall because it is, as you can see, 4 columns and 3 rows. So we need to give those dimensions also into the system here. We click next. We get the question if we see the logo. Yes, we do. If we don't, you know that there might be a cabling issue, so first check that. We continue, and you'll see that the wall has now been replicated on my screen here, and there's numbers appearing on the wall. What I now need to do is map the configuration of the wall onto the control system here to make sure that the server knows which one is which. So I'll start bottom left with number 7. I click on number 7, and it tells me that this particular box has 3 HDMI cables, randomly cabled, and he tells me cable number 1 is the bottom one. So I click that. The second one is the middle, and the last one is top. Voila, I just configured 1 box. I still need 3 to get to my complete wall. Next one is number 4. I do exactly the same process. I'm going to go a bit faster here, number 8. And then the last one is number 9. There you go. My wall is completed. The system or the control system now knows that it will need to stitch all 4 decoders together to come through the 4x3 wall. There you go. The wall's created. I still have another one that I want to create. That's the one behind me, the LED wall. So let me create another one. It's the XT series wall. It's a 1x1 because there's only 1 output coming from that. It's the same. I need to look. It's number 1. So this is fairly simple. Like I say, only 1 cable. I can continue and done. the screens or the walls are black because there's no content on the wall. That's the next thing we're going to do. So through the UI here, we can go to the control wall UI, and here you see all the walls that have already been created. Let's start with the RPC 4x3 that we created. We have this matrix shape, which is 4x3. I already pre-populated a composition in the interest of time, and we're just going to put this full screen on the wall. You should be able to see this from the camera over my shoulder as well then. So we have some camera feeds, we have some web sources on there, and the next big thing that I want to show you is the RDP source. So if I search my RDP source and I just put it over this Google Maps source, for instance, and I publish, then you will see that it's now connecting to the RDP source. Next thing that I want to do is I want to put something on the XT wall. So for that, I also already created a composition, so I'm able to filter between sources and compositions. I created 12 sources here, and I'm just going to put that on the wall as well. There you go. Creating a disk is the same flow, so we still have 2 devices left. I create a desk number 1. I continue. Do I see the Barco logo? Yes, I do. I continue, and what you'll see here is a free pane instead of a matrix shape, because a desk has a lot more flexibility. It can be Tetris shapes like L shapes or any other type. You have 4K, HD, widescreen, portrait, landscape, so you need to be able to mimic all of that. But here it's just a simple landscape 2x1. So I have one and I have the other one. These guiding lines will help me to position it pixel perfect. There you go. And my wall is created. The only thing I have to do is make sure that my keyboard and mouse is attached to the master, as you can see here. There you go, my desk is created, which you will also see on the monitors. I am now going to slide over to the desk. So what we did up until now was being a system integrator installing the system. What I'm now going to do is pretend to be a control room operator and enter the system through control desk. So what I first need to do is log in with my credentials. There you go. And what you see is the UI, let's say, to control and interact with the sources. First thing I'm going to do here is put on a picture, let's say our launch picture. So that will be coming up very soon. On this side, I'll show you that we can very easily open web sources. So we can have a dashboard on this end. I can look for something like flight radar, open it up here. I can open up the docking station that is connected to my laptop and encode it. And as a last one, let me check, I can open up the RDP session. There you go. So what we have here is web sources, so I can unlock these. These are interactive as well. So I can enter here, for instance, Kortrijk, the small airport we have here, show on map, and you'll see that everything will work accordingly. This is just a dashboard. I don't need to enter anything there. Left bottom side, we have the RDP source, so that we can also unlock that. We have a small notepad here, in which we can type stuff. So I can type my name here. And then the last thing that I wanted to show is my docking station. So that's my laptop being encoded, and I'm now calling that from the source here. So I can unlock it. I can start a new email, and I can then wish you all a good day. So I can do hello, welcome, thanks for joining the webinar. Regards, Mathieu. There you go. Just as that, I have full control over my laptop. Now, the last thing that I wanted to show you is when I go back to the sources side, I do control wall. That's actually the web application that we use to control all the walls in here. Because it's a web application, I can very easily also open it here. Of course, I still need to enter. Not everybody can just enter the system and change content on the wall. There you go. So this is the same UI that we saw before for loading images or compositions on the wall. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to take my docking station and I'm going to put it on the screen. I just did that, so that's the email I wrote, pretended to write to all of you guys. So I'm now just going to bring up the VLC player, which is putting a video in loop of our campaign. So that's just how easy it also is to change content as an operator from the operator desk and have impact on the wall. In the launch presentation, you've seen that we put a lot of effort on API first, and that's exactly what we want to demonstrate here as well. So I'm already logged into my desk, but I also have a small stream deck here that we've pre-programmed, pre-configured with some API calls. The first one is to just modify the content on the wall to dashboard content. Voilà, that's done. I can now just continue to work here, but the other example that we want to show, API example, is splitting a desk. Imagine that we have an issue that I need to collaborate with a colleague, another control room operator, but we can't do that at this desk because this is mine. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to click the split button, and what you'll see is that this one desk will split into two desks, each 4K. I can log in here, and my colleague, control room operator, is going to join me. We can both log in and then work together to solve the issue. As you can see, we can just continue working like this, but imagine that we've now solved the issue. I want to go back to my initial state. So I'm going to click join again. Two desks will be merged into one again. I get my logon screen, because here this is the screen that my colleague logged into. I'm going to use that one to show that this is now exactly one desk again. There you go. I'm logged in here. I can call the sources that I had before, and I can just continue to work like that. The last thing I need to do is actually get the content, the initial content on the wall again. So I'm just going to push this button, and there you go, there's the content. That's it for the API demo.